looked at your life and thought, how did I get here? Not in a dramatic way, just an honest moment where you realize you've drifted. Maybe your days are filled, but your heart isn't full. Maybe you're checking boxes, but feeling further away from the version of you that you imagined. And it's not because you made one catastrophic choice. It's because over time, you stopped choosing at all. You stopped being intentional. And as a result, you didn't just lose progress, you lost a piece of yourself. Oh, this one's for the expanders. If that's not you, click it off. In part 1 of this series, we talked about how your life is shaped by intentions or neglects of yesterday. Today, we go deeper. Because once you set an intention, the next step is to become the person who can carry it. And that takes more than goals, it takes identity. Let's talk about how to build a life that is aligned on purpose and power. Most people stop at goal setting. They say things like, I want to get fit, I want to write a book, I want to build a business. But they don't shift the way they see themselves. That's the gap. As James Clear said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your most powerful system is your identity. If you want to transform your life, you need to stop asking, what do I want to do? And start asking, who do I want to become? Because when you shift who you believe you are, your behavior follows. Let me show you what I mean. Say your goal is to get healthier. If you see yourself as someone trying to lose weight, I'm going to try. You'll constantly battle your habits. Side note, try is the vocabulary of the week. That ain't got nothing to do with this, but I'm just going to throw that in there for you. If you like it, take it. If you don't, toss it out. It's the vocabulary of those that don't follow through. But if you adopt the identity of, I'm a healthy person, your decisions change, your habits shift. You start making choices that reflect that version of you, all because your identity demands it. So I challenge you to write down 3 traits your future requires. Discipline, creative, bold, whatever it is, and then begin to act from the place of that identity. Before you feel ready, before the evidence supports it, and before anyone else believes it. Because the moment you decide who you are, that's the moment everything changes. Here's what most people get wrong. They set great goals, but their environment silently sabotages them. It's hard to create a masterpiece in a mess. It's hard to focus on forward movement in your future when your surroundings are constantly draining you, distracting you, or pulling you back into old habits. James Clear said, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. So I have to ask you, is your environment aligned with your intention? If your goal is to be focused, why are all of your notifications on? If your dream is to build something meaningful, why does your calendar only reflect what people need from you? And in order to change your environment, you have to have a system. This is the stuff that no one sees, but it's what separates talkers from builders. 3 simple aspects of a healthy system. Number 1 is you must create a rhythm. Morning routines, weekly resets, monthly vision reviews. Number 2, you must set intentional anchors. Anchors are quotes on the wall, values on your lock screen, a book next to your bed instead of your phone. And number 3, curate your inputs. Your inputs are what you watch, what you scroll, what you listen to. Just like your natural bodies, the diet you consume affects the energy you project. You're going to become what you're consuming. So I challenge you to audit your environment and start with those 3 basics. How can I create a rhythm? How can I set intentional anchors? How can I curate my inputs? What around me is reinforcing distraction? On the other hand, what is reinforcing my purpose? And remember this, if you don't design your system, life will design it for you, and it probably won't lead you to where you want to go. Let's talk briefly about relationships that reflect the future you're building. You've heard this a million times, you become like the people you spend the most time with. So if the people closest to you don't challenge you, don't inspire you, don't align with your vision, you're anchoring yourself to the past. And that's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. And some of us are trying to grow while still clinging to people that only recognize the old version of you. But can I tell you something? Elevation requires evaluation. And at some point, you can't always build your relationships on loyalty. You have to start building them on alignment, because you can be loyal, you're a loyal friend, without being aligned with where I'm trying to go. Do the people closest to you reflect where you're going, or do they reflect where you've been? I'm not saying cut people off. Some you might need to, let's be real. But that's not the point of what I'm saying. The point is, be clear. Boundaries are not walls, they're doors. Pow! And you decide who walks through them. So I challenge you to start one conversation this week where you share a value or a vision you're working on. Invite accountability and let people in who can help you grow. Because isolation keeps us stuck. Intentional connection accelerates transformation. Another thought that I want to submit to you is that your decisions echo. The decisions in your life, they have a chain reaction to the people that you are connected to and to the people that you're supposed to serve. And when you start filtering your decisions through legacy, things begin to shift. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop compromising your values. You start living like what you do matters because it does. And your legacy isn't what you leave behind someday. It's what you're building right now, decision by decision. So some questions to ask yourself is, will what I'm doing matter in 5 years? Will my future self thank me? What story will the decisions that I'm making today tell about me? You don't have to wait until you get older to begin thinking about legacy. And in fact, I would challenge that then it's kind of too late. Legacy starts the moment you choose to live with vision. There is no legacy where there is no vision. Every single person that has accomplished something great, we tell about them, they all come from the fact that this person at one point had a vision for where they were going. And they made decisions that were aligned with the vision they had. Vision shapes every step forward. I recently read something that I'll never forget. A mentor was sitting in the room having a cup of coffee with a person he was pouring into. They went through the usual steps. Hey, how you doing? How's work? How's the family? But as the mentee began to talk, the mentor began to realize that none of the things that were being spoken were purposeful. And so the mentor lets the young man finish, and then he looks and says, hey, can I tell you something? The young man said, yeah, sure. Every person has an empty chair waiting for them. The young man was like, what? Like, dude, that came from left field. What are you talking about? I was just telling you about, how my life is, work, all this good stuff. And you talking about an empty chair? Okay. The mentor continued, there's a table being built in the future. It's a table of impact, a table of influence, and a table of purpose. There's a seat at that table with your name on it. But young man, just because your name is on it doesn't mean you'll sit in the seat. The young man went from being confused to sitting back. And the mentor continued, too many people spend their lives circling the table like it's a game of musical chairs, looking at the chair, dreaming about what it would be like to actually sit in it. They never step into the identity that is required to claim the seat. And so for many, the chair stays empty, the role never fulfilled, the life never fully lived. Then he asked the young man the question that I'll ask you now. Will your chair be filled, or will it sit empty because you never became the person your future required? You see, intentional living isn't about perfection. It's not about being impressive. It's about being available, being aligned, showing up on purpose. Because when you live your life knowing that you already have a seat at that table, everything changes. Who do you need to become to sit at that table of purpose? Because the world doesn't just need your plans, it needs you. Yes, the world needs you. Intentional, aligned, and becoming. Don't allow your seat at the table to remain empty. Go live on purpose. And if the message I spoke today resonated with you, I want you to type in the comments, "I'm becoming," and go take your seat at the table. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.